What up? What up? What up? This is Mike, the philosopher, along with Sean B. And today's topic is an article in the New York Post, man. An article in the New York Post suggests that black women, in order to, make their career better, they should exclusively think about marrying white men. What do you think about
New
that?
York Post posted this as a real story.
Yeah, the New York Post posted this. This is a real story
Okay.
that sisters should pretty much give up on their men and just date white men. And get this, it was written by a black man.
Oh, okay.
Now, now I, yeah, now I think that I think he just got paid to put his name on it. I don't think this guy wrote this article.
That boy trying to get a bonus, don't it?
Yeah,
Look, boss, look what I wrote. Don't this make sense to you?
yeah, yeah,
Come on. Come on,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You sound stupid.
Yeah. It's a really a
Fascinating.
crazy article. So now here's the thing. Uh Katanji Brown Jackson. Excuse me if I pronounced her name wrong, but she recently just got confirmed for the Supreme Court um, position, right?
Mhm.
I mean, they tried their hardest to get her out, or try not to confirm her, especially the Republicans. And but she slid and she squeaked by, so getting um she's getting confirmed. So then it lays the question, and I find this article, the timing of this article, pretty interesting. Now that she's, you know, going to the Supreme Court, obviously he had to have written this a long time ago, but let's slide this in now when we got another sister who is married to a Caucasian man.
What makes you think he wrote it a long time ago?
Well, he didn't just write, he didn't just wake up one morning and just wrote this. This was something that was sitting for a while. I think the timing of this was everything, because you need to, if you're going to put something out like this, you need to justify putting it out, or you need a living example of your opinion.
So in that
And
article, he mentioned any other races needing or suggesting to date any other races. Like take black and white out of it. Like, do Asians need to be
no,
dating?
just sisters. If they want to, uh if they want to be somebody,
Mm.
from the way he makes it sounds, if they want to be somebody, they need to marry white men. Now, let's look at the examples he's talking about.
Mm.
He's talking about um, uh, the nominee, Katanji Brown Jackson,
Mm.
who is, going to be the next Supreme Court justice. Kamala Harris, vice president, right?
Look at what they're doing. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Right, right. So
So in that article, do he suggest that more white women need to be dating more black men? Is that a suggestion?
absolutely not.
Oh,
That
so
is not. That
then
is
what?
not. That is. I don't want to say sacrilegious, but against the agenda. That's against the agenda.
What is
Now,
it?
well, okay. Now we get into the real. Okay, let me say this, and this is just my opinion, but I could very well be wrong. I don't see the point in this article really at all, because I can't see the point of making this argument for any other sex or any other race. You see what I'm saying? So I can't see him saying, white men should marry black women to achieve success. I can't see that. Or white women should marry black men to achieve success. I can't see that. Or Asian or Mexican. I can't see no other paradigm that would make sense. The only one that would halfway make sense, because it's becoming a trend, is black women marrying white men. That's the only reason why this article was made, because you can't really do it in any other way. You can't say, oh, black men, if you want to prosper, marry a white woman. I can't see. The New York Post would never post that.
Give me some quotes, because it's like hearing the article or the topic of it is like it leads me to so many more questions. So what is the reason, quote unquote, that he give that it makes sense to him?
Well, it's funny. It's funny because this guy is actually married to a black woman. So he didn't even really, yeah, he didn't even really follow his own advice, or his wife didn't follow his advice, and he probably is lucky she didn't. Otherwise, she wouldn't be with him.
That boy be single and lonely, fool, with them type of thoughts.
Yeah, and the thing is, why? Yeah, and it's like if you're in okay, his own situation really should debunk the whole article. Okay, you're successful, right? Your wife is successful, right? She married you. You're a black man.
So what's the problem? Where did you come?
Where the problem is, right? What's the problem?
But like you said, must have got a bonus to put his name on it.
I think he got paid to put his name on it, so that because here's the thing. As a white man, you're going to get pushback. If you put your name on it, you're going to get pushback, right? Because then it's going to be obviously you're really going to see the real sort of agenda here, right? So they had to say, look, Professor Sellout, we need you to put your name on this article, right? Yeah. So that it's more credible to your community. Yeah. Because if we put our name on it, it's going to get rejected automatically.
My dog, I pray for dude, because my man, you don't go against your own people like that.
Right.
None of this is making sense to me.
Here's the article. Two of the most powerful positions in the United States government will soon be held for the first time by black women. Let me say, I want to say congratulations to the sisters, regardless of who they married to. My only issue is, well, first of all, a lot of people don't even really consider Kamala Harris to be an African American. They consider her, I mean, she doesn't really align with the African American community, nor she doesn't do anything
what is her
with the black community. But she can use that as a bit of a selling point to get black women at the polls to put Joe Biden in office, and it worked. But my whole thing is, I want even though I'm gonna congratulate these sisters, I would be more impressed if they did things for the community. I don't see any pride in just marrying outside your race and then doing nothing for your community, only to seek approval from
community in which you don't belong.
The powers that be. Let's just say it that way. Yeah.
Never have.
Like what? what is the goal? Is my question. What is the goal? Is it to seek approval from the powers that be? Where's the pride in that? I don't see it. And what are you doing for the community? Nothing. Why should we be proud of you being in office then?
Right.
I mean, because you're pretty much just a puppet at this point, you know. Um, it says, the black women is Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown Jackson. Harris has, as we all know, is the vice president of the United States, and Brown is soon become a Supreme Court justice. But Harris and Brown, Jackson also share a personal attribute that is equally noteworthy. Each of them have white husbands. I mean, this is just what the article says. So the fact is significant. The effect of racism have left well-educated black women with what is that? Paucity, paucity, or whatever. I can't pronounce that. Of black men parents, according to Brookings Institute data, black men are the least likely than black women to have completed high school. All right, now let's deal with that. Black men are the least likely to complete high school.
What they got to do with love?
Well, if you live in a capitalistic society, a lot. It has. There are songs called "You Gotta Have a J.O.B. if you want to be with me." Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Okay, I don't want no scrubs. Okay, now, but why is this though? Why are girls completing school and boys not? Here's my answer. The reason why this is because black girls are, I want to say, way more protected than black boys in the black community. They are protected, especially scholastically. Because if think of it like this: if the father is not in the home, there's nobody to put the boy in check and put the boy in his place. So he and think of this also. Sometimes the boys got to be the fathers of the household, and they got to go out and get money just to help out the house, even if that means in illegal ways. And guess what? The mamas don't, they turn the other cheek. Some of them know what their sons is doing out there, but food got to get put on the table. So he becomes the pseudo husband. This is what is not talked about why it ain't because black girls are smarter than black boys. That's ridiculous, right? I mean, we all come from the same gene pool. That's actually ridiculous.
Right.
The point is that the black girls, they don't want their black girls in the street, and I get it. But if there is if the ends are not meeting, you have to bring up one of the sons to be a pseudo husband to go out there and get it. This is why he don't finish school. This is why he don't go to college. This is why all of that stuff, because black boys are put out on the street way sooner than their sisters. And I've seen this personally, and it's happened to me personally. You see what I'm saying? So
and basically based on statistics is the reason why he said what he said.
I don't know. I mean, these are just some. See, and the thing about it is, with this article, is he's being disingenuous because he's not telling you the reasons for all of this stuff. He just goes into a blanket statement, and I'm not saying he's not saying facts, but you got to dive deeper to get the real meaning behind all of this and why it's set up the way that it is. I mean, you got black boys who go to jail or end up dead. I mean, they have a harder life um, from birth to adulthood than
Boy,
the black girls do.
about 60 years ago, they wouldn't be talking like this. Like, y'all need to come over here more.
Right, right. Yeah, they wouldn't be saying that, but again, I think there is an agenda behind this, but I'll get to that later.
That's
But
what so what changed in 60 years, right? And so some would suggest, right? And I've even seen a video, to be doctored up as some might argue. Joe Biden even said that the population of white people is declining. This is not me saying this. I don't know the numbers. I ain't the U.S. Census Bureau to be knowing the numbers. But in the video that I've seen and other videos that I've watched, the suggestion is that all other races are still increasing. Meanwhile, for whatever reason, the white population is decreasing. And it could be a number of reasons for that, but I guess I'm asking the question and also kind of making a suggestion. Could that be the reason why this article was produced? I mean, and like you said, it's a blanket statement. So it's like, y'all not even really saying why. How does it make sense in today, 2022?
well,
And
we're here. Well, what's the best way to makes things look fair but are really not fair? What's the best way to do that? You recruit some of your elite black people, you put them in positions, and you have them work solely for you. You don't have them work for the black community. You have them working for your community.
there's a
So,
book that
so,
speaks
so,
on it.
so that's the reason why Kamala Harris was picked. She was picked strategically because they knew she wasn't going to do nothing for the black community. They knew she would tap dance for their community. She even married a white guy, but she still will get the black vote.
That makes me wonder about Obama.
No, you can't do that with Obama. And the reason I say that with Obama and because here's the difference. The difference is this. I feel that if you are voted in, you can be real. You can be a real black couple or black man or black woman. But if you are appointed, you have to be, for the lack of a better term, a sellout. Okay. Now, who was appointed? Clarence Thomas was appointed. Total sellout. Okay. Now, Ketanji Brown Jackson. I'm not saying she's a sellout because I don't know enough about her. But I can only say that I just say I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do in the Supreme Court chair. Let's just put it that way.
She was appointed, right?
She was what? She was appointed. Thurgood Marshall was appointed. None of the blacks that are in the Supreme Court were married to black people. None of them. Even Thurgood Marshall was married to a Filipino woman, which is, that doesn't make him.
All of them for the Filipinos. No shot, no shade.
Yeah, no shade, no shade. We first of all, we love everybody at BMR. We love white people. We love black people. We love Filipino people, Hispanic people. We love Indian people, Native American. We love everybody. But the thing is this, there is still chess moves being made. And I don't think you will ever see, well, in the near future, I don't think you will ever, I can't even say that because I was actually surprised that Obama was president. But I will say, I will be surprised if I ever see a fully black man or woman appointed and was married to a black person.
You ain't gonna never see that one.
Because that means that you can kind of imagine how their ideas are going to align. But if they're married to someone outside of their race, then their ideology, like, you won't really have as much sympathy for your community if your husband or wife and the rest of your family is not of that community, or you consider them not of that community.
If we get the inclination that you will actually try to do good things that is for your people or a certain group of people, it ain't for our group, then we can't put you in this position of power to make these changes, because it's hard to undo what it is we're trying to do. So to have to go backwards ain't something that they trying to do. So if you get in one of them seats of power, mayor, governor, elected official, 9 times out of 10, we know where you stand. Mm-hmm. We have it, like you said, an agenda.
An agenda.
And
I think that the agenda is to put, I hate to say puppets, okay, but I think the agenda is to put people who may look like us in positions to do 2 things. Number 1, shut us up because they look like us. And number 2, do nothing for us like the other community would do. Nothing for us. Mm-hmm. So it's a hedge. It's a chess move, because now you can't really say it's about discrimination because they got the same skin tone, but at the same time, you can't say they're gonna do nothing for us because they've shown that they're not gonna do nothing for us. And not for nothing, a lot of the Republicans did not want Miss Jackson and Mrs. Jackson as a Supreme Court justice, but I still don't. I mean, they really tried their hardest to not get. They said if the Republicans were in charge of the Senate, they wouldn't even had a hearing. She wouldn't have made it. So I found that interesting. But the article goes on. It says, rather than partner with men of other races, many heterosexual black women either don't marry or marry black men with whom they are not especially well matched. What do you think? What do you think they're talking about when they say not especially well matched?
Well, I think what they've been doing for the longest, since their existence, let's be real, is studying our moves. You have been studying our culture, period. You have tried to destroy us in a number of ways. You have tried to imitate us, even claim our history for your own culture, okay? Right. So if you ask me, this is another thing that they have done where it's like, okay, we study your culture and statistically, la, 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 la. Look, all of them numbers don't got nothing to do with love. Loves come from the heart, and the feelings of the heart come from the spirit. All right. That extra nonsense is garbage. See?
Well, here's what I think they're trying to say. I think they're trying to say that your education is your value. This is why they love when, sisters go to school and they get education, because once they get that education, a lot of times, unfortunately, their self-esteem rides on their education. Like, even if they're not gorgeous and beautiful, if they feel like they have a master's or a PhD, their self-esteem will inflate them to thinking that they are very desirable. And if that's the case, then a lot of the black men that they meet is not going to have that PhD. It's not going to have that master's degree. So all of a sudden, even though he's considered more attractive to women than she is to men, not all cases, but some, she's going to think she's better than him because she has the education, or she may consider herself to have more earning power.
So you said a lot. Let me address it, because it was two different things that you said. I just kind of want to get at.
Go ahead.
So first things, for my first question, real short and sweet, for you personally, if you had, let me bring my camera up. If you had a PhD, wouldn't your confidence rise?
Good question. Good question.
No.
Good question. Here's the thing. As a man, I will probably say, I think it is. I do think it's fundamentally different from a man to a woman, because PhD, that same PhD, for a man, earning for a living is what is primarily the man's responsibility. So I think it makes sense for a man's ego to heighten because of some of his scholastic accomplishments, not just because he has more earning power, but because honestly, it's not a whole lot of brothers who will probably reach that plateau. So to answer your question, yeah, my confidence would rise, but then all of a sudden I have a whole lot of options of women to choose from at that point.
So think about it. Let's do role reversal right quick. So you beat the odds of being a statistic of jail, gangbanger, this, that, the third. You have a whole PhD as a man. Your confidence gonna skyrocket, right? Now let's role reverse it, right? A woman who her role wasn't always to be the provider, right? And if daddy raised you right, he told you to be independent, so you don't need a man to provide for you, right? Mm-hmm. So now look at it, right? The only thing she would need a guy for is love and reproduction. So when you're approaching a lady with more education, the higher it is, I kind of expect it to be more confidence. I expect it to be more of a difference, because all humans want to meet someone on their level. You never date lower. You never be like, she works like at McDonald's, but I'ma still take care of her. Like, right. You got to be bringing something to the table. And if I beat the odds of being a teenage mom, a ghetto black crazy, I went to school, I got educated, I can't get food in this world, right?
Well, let me say this, Sean. You do make a good point. And here's the thing: when anybody accomplishes anything, they deserve to be proud of themselves. Ooh. Okay, men, women, it doesn't matter. If you accomplish kindergarten, mm-hmm. we should throw you a party. If you accomplish middle school or high school or college, or you should be proud of your accomplishments. Mm-hmm. But it gets tricky when you start thinking that you are actually more valuable and better than someone because of your accomplishments. Like, I will say that men don't necessarily do that much. Okay, if I'm a doctor, if I'm a PhD or whatever, mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think that I'm better than the pretty girl waitress at Denny's. You see what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think I'm better than her. I could think that, but at the same time, I don't hold that as heavy as sometimes women do.
But okay?
If you would have Tiger Woods go to a Denny's or a Stoney's or whatever and hook up with the waitress.
But is he gonna take her as serious as the
men marry down all the time. Men marry down all the time. It's not a big deal to us to a point where we hold our scholastic accomplishments against our potential mates. We don't do that with women. Mainly because we are expected to be the breadwinners. We are expected to be the providers. So it's not something that we consider a something to hold over their head, so to speak. But oftentimes, and this is just fundamental fact, a lot of times women do that. They look at it like once they get their accolades or scholastic accomplishments, that they're all considered better, and then they're married down. They don't want to marry down. Then they got to meet someone on their level and stuff like that. And they sort of paint themselves into a corner, if you ask me, because now if you are thinking that you're better, even though you're not even that attractive, you're thinking that you're better than most of the men, your dating pool is going to be small.
Yeah.
And
so it depends on value though, because if you, I mean, and I'm sure you have too, met a woman who has had her bag right, had the degrees and all of that, but she didn't care if her man was not having a degree. Most women that I've ever spoke to on this topic, they'd be like, so long as he can take care of the household and like take care of self, he don't have to be super rich.
Me personally, yeah. I've met women who had doctorates, okay, that are PhDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they have probably $500,000 worth of debt. Okay, 300K in debt and up. They will still look down on you as a man, even though you have zero debt. They will still look down on you. Why? Because they got the paper of the PhD. Yeah, they owe over $500,000 in student loans, and their net worth is not higher than yours, but their ego is, and and not even just ego, but their self-esteem, and they feel like their value is higher than yours, and they don't particularly look any better than you.
You know
but
what
they just
is?
think that because they place all of their self-esteem on their scholastic accomplishments. That's why
society does that. Society,
and that's what I'm saying. That's what he's doing in this article. He's saying that they're not meeting their matches, so they need to go out and get white men so that they can meet some of their matches.
We go to school. We have the doctors like you guys, but you know what? That's why I asked the original question. What does the stats got to do with love? Because you talking on two different topics. It's like politics and religion. See what I'm saying? That shouldn't be.
But this is what they're pushing in society, and they're pushing this on women, especially, I would say especially on black women, to value themselves through their education so that they cannot match up with their own men. And now I think that that's wrong, and I think that women should snap out of this, putting their self-esteem on their schooling or even the money that they make, and when it comes to finding love or when it comes to finding a mate. Because once you do this, you're gonna pretty much eliminate yourself from a lot of very good eligible men, and you're gonna have to go to another race or culture just to fit in. And and to me, it sounds a lot like it's some sort of
agenda
of, I will even say maybe a racial genocide. Because if you get all the women, all of the top women who have this schooling, and they're all going to the other community, then everybody else is degenerates on this side, and you know what I'm saying, and to the point where we don't have enough matches for anybody, and you can't even really build black wealth that way, because all of them are going to they're building wealth for another community. You see what I'm saying?
So dig it, right? So like you said a key word, the agenda, and this is what we're uncovering right now. I'm about to peel it back layer by layer. Dig it. So society, since it's been a thing, has placed value on college education, and society has said the further you go, quote unquote, you'll get paid more. So that's the assumption. When you get this doctorate's degree, you're going to be worth more to society, right? So of course, any human, whether it be male or female of any color, their confidence gonna go up. It's gonna be hard to talk to them as a person who ain't matching their qualifications, because human nature is to want to meet somebody on your level, period, right? But so we talking about that agenda. So
we need to get rid of this level crap.
Go ahead. Let me finish.
But I'm gonna let you finish. I just needed to get that out. We need to get rid of this level crap. Okay, go ahead.
Society placed, because this is the agenda. Society placed the value on education, said you're worth more, right? So we would get that for one. 8 years ago was this whole big movement. Go gay, be open with it. And all of the shows got open homosexuality all throughout it, right? For real. I mean, you can look up any TV show right now on a lot of major networks, and it's like,
word for it. But go ahead.
Okay. So, but it almost seemed like, so that was the thing. Go gay, right? No shot, no shade to them. But if all the men go gay and the women are still straight and they go to school, like you said, what are we really looking at? Like you said, that genocide, that's definitely it. The agenda, right? So we gonna make y'all believe that if you go to school, you'll be worth more to us and you'll fit in with us.
Right.
Don't go gay.
I've seen some banks who just want to give bank loans to black women, not any of the black men. You know, and then, so if they get an education, and they are the only ones who are allowed to get bank loans, and they have a husband who is not black, it's another way to funnel money out of our community. I mean, I can look at this from so many different angles. It's just ridiculous. I mean, as far as population control or whatever, wealth, funneling wealth away from the community. There's a lot of different agendas, because if you start having one group, the woman, move away from her own community and start going to another community, all because she got some kind of college degree, then you are going to be funneling wealth out of that community. Even if the men did that, and just and in some ways, black men have done that, and we're probably even more guilty of that than the black women, to be honest. We will date out, and then we will marry someone who's not in our community, and all that wealth and everything goes back into their community. So now they're trying to do that. They see the men doing that. Now they're trying to have the women do that, so that all the wealth will pretty much disappear out of the community. At least that's how I see it. I'm not saying that is the agenda, but as far as what I see, that's what it looks like.
I mean,
population control and wealth drain and brain drain.
And then we're going to tell you statistically, after all of this time of telling you all of these different things and different way to goes, this is how you should be. Then we're going to tell you, oh, y'all should be marrying us, because statistically we already there. Well, no, duh. Like, if you don't see the plot in front of you, the whole thing from start to finish to where we like currently at, like I'm saying, like it. Come on now, like because they're not talking about no other race. But going back to something key, I said that it said that their race is dying off. And if their race is dying off, it only makes sense to mix with the most dominant of cultures genetically.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, right, we're going to tell you it's about stats, but really it's about saving our race.
It's about that, and it's about wealth. One thing I learned is that wealth would trump racism. You could be the most, in most cases, you could be the most racist, racist
What
person,
Jay
right?
say?
But if you see
Yeah,
a
black,
African American person who has money, you will oftentimes you'll give them a pass. Michael Jordan, um, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said he don't even know what racism is because they all treat him lovely. And that's the thing. If you got the money, they forget about that racism part.
story of OJ. Don't believe the hype. Jay-Z said it best. Black hit up, tall hit up, brown hit. What'd he say?
Still that N word, yeah. Um,
I
but
don't
I mean, I again, we could be wrong. Me and Sean both could be wrong. Y'all put it in the comments if y'all think that we're wrong and we're just tripping and bugging and we are, over analyzing all of this stuff. We'd like to know,
no.
because we're not claiming to know everything, but from my perspective, that's how it looks, and from his perspective, that's how it looks. If y'all see something different, put it in the comments.
Why more Asian women should be marrying more white men, or more white women should be marrying more Asian? You know what I mean?
Look, this is another agenda of mine. I think the goal is to have all women chase them, the white man,
And if everybody
because then they will have all the women, and then they can if they control all cultures through the women, they control the world. So that is just how I view it. Again, if I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Put your ideas in there and tell me how wrong I am, if I am, or Sean. And we thank y'all for watching. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, peace, y'all. But I will ask y'all this question: is the article right or is the article wrong? And if so, why? Put it in the comments. We will check y'all in the next one. Peace.